Every year, thousands of Australians fall victim to scams. Behind every statistic is a real person, someone who has faced the devastating impact of scams. The victims you will hear from emerge stronger and are sharing their stories to help others avoid the traps they once fell into. These are their stories.
So then the red flags really started to show. He asked for a photo, an intimate photo, and I was a bit hesitant at first, but he said I should have that trust in him, especially if we'll take our relationship further. So I sent it to him. I should have really thought about that, but it happened because I really wanted to build a future with this person who has just love bombed me essentially. After that photo was sent, his whole tone changed. Everything changed from that moment on. The really scary thing was that he was requesting money. And if I didn't send him the money, he would send that photo to my parents, to my best friends, to my boss and colleagues. And that would absolutely ruin my life, absolutely terrify me.
I asked if I could call her and just speak to her about it, or maybe go pick it up. And she said she had this really chaotic job. She didn't have time to call me. She was in back-to-back meetings all day. So I guess this should have been a red flag at the time. There was also this real sense of urgency that other people wanted it, that I was one of, 50 people that wanted to buy this bag. And if I didn't, make that call in that moment, I wasn't going to be able to get it. And because the price was so good, I actually believed that this would be happening, because she was selling this almost looked like brand new Bottega bag for $450.
A lot of the red flags that I probably should have noticed was they initially came in with, there's a lot of big gains to be had. So after my initial $2,000, I was asked to put in another $5,000, and that would boost our money up and we could gain a lot more. And then there was just the constant pushes for more and more and more money, until eventually I did put in another $5,000 after borrowing the money from someone, thinking that I was going to invest this money and then be able to pay them back with more money on top.
It wasn't a large red flag we should have been aware of, because the particular event, the fundraising event, was only in a few days' time. So we thought that's why it had to be done straight away.
In retrospect, I thought it would have been discussed at a committee meeting. So we should have known.
At first, it was just small amounts, $500, but it was something I paid straight away because I was so scared. And then it started to get more and more in terms of volume, and he increased in frequency. So then it was $500 every other day. I couldn't afford that. He was asking me to take out loans to be able to give him the money that he was, essentially extorting from me. And because I was so desperate to keep that photo hidden, I gave him what he needed, what he wanted, and then it put me in a lot of debt.
So in the end, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And I sent the money. And I did it through, direct deposit. I should have noticed that it was weird. They didn't want to use a secure payment method like PayPal. They didn't want to do, a drop-off pickup situation. They only wanted bank transfer. And they wanted the money before they sent it, so that they would then mail it to me the next morning to secure it. The next morning, I say, hey, have you sent it out? And I didn't hear anything back. It was radio silence from that point, and they ended up blocking me and deleting their Facebook account, because I had my friends try and look up the seller and try and message them as well, but this person's account didn't exist anymore.
One of the things that the scammer did was, whenever I would ask for money, he would add a lot of jargon into it. I asked to take money out, and he said there's a lot of liquidation protocols, which basically he then went on to explain to me after a few more messages that basically that meant I would have to pay between $500 and $1,000 to get my money out, in order to avoid taxes and in order to get it out quickly. Otherwise, it could take a month or so, just because of how he said the coins operate. It was about this time I realized that it didn't seem truthful. I'd already given this man, quite a lot of money after this. And so having to pay more money to access my own money kind of set off some red flags in my mind.
Our treasurer usually rings if he needs anything, but so it was a bit unusual, and we should have checked it out.
If you believe you have been scammed, visit the dedicated Scam Safety Hub on the Crime Stoppers Victoria website for information on what to do next.